Good morning, Titans. I'm Ellie Johnson.
And I'm Cora Westbrook. Welcome to this edition of Titan Television.
Episode, we go behind the scenes of Mr. Titan.
We'll also go behind the screens of our technology department.
And we find out how Coach Sieber has impacted so many people during his time here at West.
But first, art students here at West work so hard to be a part of local shows.
Addison Woody talked to one who's seen great success.
These West art students work day and night to get their artwork done and ready for art shows. Senior Gwen King has worked super hard to get where she is right now.
I've always been artistic, but I started taking art in high school, and then after taking the foundations classes I was really getting into it, and I was like, I'm kind of good at this, I'm gonna keep going, and I really hit the road running sophomore year, and after that it's just been like all I want to do.
Throughout multiple different art shows and critiques, Gwen has found a focus on what meaning she has behind each art piece.
I love feminism. My theme and portfolio is girlhood, so that's what I focus on, like living life as a woman and growing up and what that's been like as like a female experience. I love seeing other forms of feminist artwork being shown throughout history of time. I think that's really awesome.
Not only she likes to have a little bit of meaning in her theme, but she also likes to show her creativity through her artwork.
I love portfolio because I have freedom and I can do any sort of media I want. But my favorite classes were painting because that's usually what I like to do.
Gwen has worked super hard for all the accomplishments she has gotten.
This year I got 2 first place awards at the RAPEC Invitational. I got first place in painting and I got first place in painting still life, which is the competition. And then recently I found out I got a silver key for the Scholastic National Award for my entire portfolio for girlhood.
And I'm Addison Woody reporting for Titan Television.
The tech guys are a big part of our community here at West, but not many people know exactly what they do.
So, I mean, we do all the audio-visual troubleshooting for a lot of the buildings. Audio systems, back when we had projectors, we still do that. We do the troubleshooting for everybody's, all the teachers' big TVs, their interactive flat panels, or IFPs as we call them. So, if it has to do with technology somewhere in the building, likely we are there or related to it in some way, shape, or form.
But outside of Lee Summit West, the tech guys are very interesting people with their talents and hobbies.
I am a musician. I build computers. I do auto mechanical work, home renovation. I do a bunch of things. So it's just one facet. I think Mr. Goad probably is similar to that.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff at home. I work on cars. Now that's kind of one of my things when I need a break. I can actually go and work on a car. That kind of relieves some of the stress. But I do home renovations, that kind of thing as well.
As reporter and photographer, this is Logan Divis reporting for LS West Online.
Our bowling team has had another successful season. Matthew Lesh talked to the bowlers about how they're feeling heading into the state tournament.
With Bowling at West having been on a roll recently, with their main competition gone this year, they are now headed to state.
Park Hill last year was pretty much better than all of the other classes, and I mean, now that Park Hill's seniors are all gone, Lee Summit West was able to come out on top, improve their game, improve their mental game, and overall win most of the tournaments.
Did compete at kind of a district level a few weeks ago, and we did get second, so we are going to state, but we did notice that the competitive level is extreme, especially in that area. So if we do go to state, it will be sort of a challenge competing against seniors and juniors alike, and maybe sophomores and freshmen.
Maintaining a good atmosphere at tournaments is important to their success.
Keeping our cool, like at state last year when we were in step ladders, a lot of the other teams were just like shouting at each other, cheering each other on. And although that can be good, it can be distracting. So we kind of like tried to keep it low and not overboard, and it helped us. So
the day of the tournament, we go into approaches and we test out how the feel is on the approach. We all stay together. We just talk as a team and see what strategy we can do. I think that's very important. We all have like a team meeting and all that stuff.
One of the team's biggest strengths is being able to maintain high-scoring games.
we've been more strategic in like how we line our players up and how we approach each game. And we've been focusing more on our mental game and not focusing more on if we're going to win. Like, it doesn't really matter if we win, just that we can keep our cool under pressure and how that overall affects us in the long run.
We pick up a lot of spares, so we strike a lot as well, but when we leave a spare, we get it, and I think that's our strongest strength.
Reporting for LS West Online, this is Matthew Lesh.
Last week, Dr. Made received an amazing honor as our new principal from the Greater Kansas City, Missouri Principals Association.
A surprise celebration was planned for her outside the school. Here's the recap.
And I am here with our esteemed board to present the new Exemplary Principal Award to Dr. Kayla May.
Every year they give it out to a principal in their first 3 years of service for just outstanding work. So she's getting it behind me.
I'll be honest, I'm overwhelmed. Absolutely overwhelmed. I usually know what's going on here for the most part, and so the fact that this is a major surprise is just insane. There's nothing more than I hate is meetings, and the fact that I had to drive like 17 minutes over there and then find out he's already here, I was not happy. This is an honor, but I love this place.
Thanks, Dr. Made, for all you do for us.
Next up, Nash Parker has the details on the Europe trip that many students will be going on this summer.
On July 3rd, multiple students are going to a trip of a lifetime.
The trip in Venice, Italy, and then we are moving to Milan, and then we do a stopover in Lake Como, Italy, and we move to Lucerne, Switzerland, and then we end the trip in Berlin, Germany.
The trip happens every other year, and the students are excited.
I would like to go to Venice, Italy, because I like to try authentic Italian food, see what the pizza's like over there.
Although it's supposed to be a fun trip, the students will still learn new and interesting things.
Some of the historic places that we will visit in Venice include the Grand Canal. We will go to St. Mark's Square, and then in Switzerland, we're going to visit Mount Rigi, which is part of the Alps. And then we travel to Berlin, which has a lot of history.
With how exciting the trip is going to be, many students at West will be attending.
This is our largest trip that we are taking, so we are taking about 65 students.
With photographer Tyler Coffey, this is Nash Parker reporting for Titan Television.
Recently, the St. West Titans got together to find out which senior was going to be crowned Mr. Titan.
I went to the performance last year and I thought it was just really funny, so I wanted to partake in that and make it something special. So.
I think the biggest thing that made me want to do Mr. Titan was that it's one of the last things that I would expect my freshman self to do, and I felt like if I've changed that much, may as well do it, something that's fun to do, even if it was a little bit embarrassing at times.
Many of the competitors went into the contest thinking that Connor Lewick would win the contest this year.
Probably either Burhan or Connor, him seeing I'm Just Ken really kind of topped it, and then Burhan's my partner and we had a really good dance.
Probably Connor Lewick, because he's really animated and he's, when he gets on stage he likes to, he wanted to put on a show for sure, so I thought Connor would be up there, maybe Owen, because they don't really get like social anxiety. They're funny.
Despite Connor being favored to win, in the end, Evan Watson took the crown.
It was definitely surprising because I had no expectation of winning going into it. I mean, obviously you want to win, but I didn't think I was going to. So it was really surprising. Pretty cool, around the hall people call me Mr. Titan now. It's kind of fun, but yeah, very surprising, but It was pretty cool, pretty awesome.
Reporting for Titan TV, this is Matthew Lesh.
With the school year coming to a close, our lunch ladies managed to keep a smile on their faces. Addison Woody talked to one in particular about her positive attitude.
Spreading kindness is super important to staff at Lee Summit West, but Christine Miller makes it her top priority while serving lunch in the cafeteria.
You're rushed through, your day is dictated, and sometimes you just need something out of the ordinary. You just need a smile.
Everyone has a super important place in Christine's heart, so she sees each student with joy.
Because no matter how pretty the outside of the school is, you really don't know what the kids go through at home or what they're going through in their personal life or anything like that. And I don't want to be someone's worst part of their day. I know what that feels like, and I'm not going to do that anyway. So
Even if Christine is having a bad day, she still manages to put on a smile for everyone.
it's important to everybody I meet. They're going to get greeted. They're going to get a smile and know that they're important to someone. Kindness can go so far. It can heal. It can protect. And I choose to spread it because what's the opposite?
Kindness can go so far with one smile to another.
I don't want to be their monster or their demon. I want to be someone's friend. I want to be their confidant. So everybody has to have that one person.
And I'm Addison Woody reporting for Titan Television.
With the weather warming up, Trap Masters is heading to the range. Israel Alexander has more.
Relatively overlooked, the trap team at Lee Summit West doesn't get a lot of fame. Most people do not even know what trap is.
The COVID situation kind of knocked the air out of the Lee Summit School District trap teams for the high schools. They still haven't got another team at North yet. Lee Summit High School has a team.
The Trap Masters Club at Lee Summit West has seen a decline in popularity over the years. They are, however, determined to get back on their feet.
The trap club is basically set up for Lee Summit West students to learn safety and fundamentals of trap shooting, which involves taking a shotgun, again, learning the safety aspects of it, and shooting a clay pigeon about so big out of the air as it flies out.
While the club provides a fun, enjoyable experience for students, there is no shortage of safety, a necessity around firearms.
We shoot out at Lake Lotawana Trap Club. They have their own set of rules. We have extra rules on top of that. It's a really great thing. I have a lot of students who have never fired a gun at all that come out.
The club is in need of more members, and interested students are encouraged to contact the coach.
So if a student is interested in a really fun experience, they can contact me.
With photographer Matthew Wilbers, this is Israel Alexander reporting for Ellis West Online.
Now let's hand it off to Killian Wright and the rest of the crew for the Titan Sports Update.
Welcome to the April edition of Titan Sports Update. Spring sports are now in full swing, and there's plenty of news to be shared regarding our teams. Baseball has big expectations this season, being ranked top 5 in many early season polls from media outlets. After going through a bit of a rough patch, they'll try and bounce back tonight against Belton at home. So go pack those seats to cheer them on.
Despite being one of the most popular clubs at West, lacrosse is yet to become an official MSHSAA sport. Here's Luke Armstrong with more on the story.
Here's at West, lacrosse has always been a popular sport among the students here on campus. But there's always been one thing standing in their way.
So lacrosse is an interesting situation because the member schools, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, need to identify a sport as emerging, and then after that, after a year or so of it being an emerging sport, the member schools will ratify it into being an official sport.
Considering it's not an official sport in Lee Summit and there's more clubs than there is teams, it's usually not seen as a school sport. So kids who live in Lee Summit don't have a fair chance to really know about it and learn about it.
There's been a spark of interest roaming around the district for lacrosse to become a bigger and better sport.
My opinion is it would be an awesome thing to have happen, both on the boys' side and the girls' side. I think there's interest here at Lee Summit West. I think there's interest throughout the district, to be quite honest with you. But what I'm looking forward to is for other member schools to grab a hold of lacrosse and make sure that our kids have an opportunity to participate in it.
I think it'll overgrow maybe in 4 or 5 years once kids start to join and play and we get all the fundraising for it, but I think it has potential.
Getting involved within your school is important. Lacrosse is a good way to start.
I hope we get as many kids involved in lacrosse as we possibly can. I know it's a fun sport. I know that there are a lot of kids that don't know a lot about it, and once they're introduced to the sport, they're going to be excited about it. Every student should be involved in an activity, and I'm hopeful that lacrosse reaches out to those kids that don't necessarily have a quote-unquote sport that they participate in, something new to them.
Tried it with me and my brother. We tried it for a couple years and we ended up liking it, so we just kept with it.
While lacrosse may be a fun sport, having good grades and attendance is still key to success within this club.
They're identified as a club currently, and we have participation guidelines in our activities handbook that they have to follow, and they follow the same rules as everybody else in participation, grades, attendance, and those types of things.
Reporter Andrew West and photographer Luke Armstrong reporting for Titan Sports Update.
Girls lacrosse will take on Scion tonight, and the boys will play Olathe tomorrow, followed by girls senior night on April 30th.
Tennis has been extremely busy lately, playing 4 matches last week. They've seen success so far this season despite losing multiple top 6 ranked players from last season. A key reason for that is first-year player Landon Beard, who stepped up big time in his return to the sport. Here's Johnny Panta with more.
We have a new face for our varsity tennis team this year. Sophomore Landon Beard has had a busy schedule between soccer and tennis.
Well, I've played a couple years back, and I decided to quit because of soccer. But I decided to start it back up even though I'm still playing soccer, so it's a heavy schedule.
From the speed and agility used in soccer, Coach Nicholas feels that Beard's game translates perfectly from soccer to tennis.
This is Landon's first year playing, and I love a lot of things about his game. I know that he's a soccer kid, used to play basketball as well, so the first thing I love about his game is his athleticism. I think anytime that soccer players or basketball players move to tennis and their athleticism can translate really, really well.
Beard has done a lot to get back into tennis. Through teammates, lessons, and practice, he's gotten back into form.
Practicing a lot with my teammates. We've been coming out to the courts even on our off days. We practice a lot to hopefully win and go as far as we can.
Coach Nicholas is looking forward to how Beard can benefit the team.
So right now, Landon is our number 4 player, and number 4, number 5, and number 6 are super, super important. We've got some really talented players at 1 through 3, and I mean, we're talented throughout, but matches are won at that 4, 5, and 6 spot. When you can grab the majority of those matches, the team will most of the time win. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him compete at that 4 spot and see what he can bring to the team in terms of wins and also the development of his game.
Beard has bought into the team aspect and is looking forward to the season.
I'm excited about the atmosphere that we have. We have a good team. I think we all work hard to do better, and we help each other do better. If we're doing something wrong, then we tell each other. Hopefully go as far as we can, win as many games as we can, and do it as a team. It's team tennis.
With photographer Tyler Coffey, this is Jonathan Panta reporting for Titan Sports Update.
Thanks, Johnny. We'll host Lee Summit North tomorrow at 4 in hopes of picking up another win. Girls soccer recently brought home a 5-0 win versus Pembroke Hill to cap off a successful senior night and followed it up with some tournament play in Kickapoo. Their record currently sits at 4-3, and they'll be traveling across town to face the rival Broncos tonight at 6:30 for the annual Pink Out game.
Track and field is also in the middle of a successful season, including a recent record-breaking performance by Bryce Mitchell. Here's Killian Wright with more.
Senior Bryce Mitchell hit a new PR of 48.67 seconds in the 400-meter dash, shattering the previous school record of 10 years.
Every race that I've ran, like this year, I've been trying to get the record. So, like, I guess it's always been like a mindset for this year. The first half of the race, I was just like kind of running my race, but as soon as I got to like the last half, like the last 100, I just had to like try to kick it in. I thought I was gonna get it. I really hoped I did too. It was a good day.
But Mitchell's not letting up anytime soon.
It feels good, but like I know there's more records to be broken. Trying to get my name out there, hopefully get some good offers, and then try to get the 200 record and get back to state.
Reporting for Titan Sports Update, this is Killian Wright.
Mitchell and the rest of the team will travel to Grand Valley to compete this Saturday, and we wish them luck. The boys golf team has also been off to a great start, being led by juniors Luke McCullough and Ryan Holtz. They're currently at the Jefferson City Country Club for the Helias Catholic Classic, and we wish them luck today and for the remainder of the season.
Another first-year Misha sport is boys volleyball, who started the season 5-4. After losing 6 seniors over the offseason, there's a lot of new faces who've stepped up to replace them. With many players playing out of position or being new to the sport in general, they've had a strong start, all things considered. They take on St. Joseph Central tomorrow at home to bring home another win.
And that's a wrap for this Titan Sports Update. The Shinas will be signing off one last time. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at LSW Sports Update. Let's send it back to Ellie and Cora.
Thanks, guys. Now that the track season is well underway, we spoke to a few coaches about how their seniors are getting a running start to this season. Zoe Harrington and Jamie Birmingham have more.
This track season has gone into a smooth start, with last year's seniors gone and new seniors coming in.
Once it starts getting warm and towards graduation, there's a lot of distractions. So the guys need to focus a little bit more than they do, say, in the fall, because of all the distractions, especially the seniors.
Senior Jordan Adams steps up to become a leader when leading the new track runners this year.
Staying motivated because as a senior, everybody's looking up to you. Everybody's wanting to do what you do. So you have to remember that somebody's always watching you. You can't slack off, and you just have to push through.
Despite having hard practices, the coaches can see their team making it to state.
My main goal for this year is for my team to give it 100%, to go out there and PR in all of their events, and for us to be a podium team at state.
The seniors this year are a big aspect to the track team, as they are the main ones people look up to.
My goal is just to be a leader, push the team, and hopefully make it to state in my own individual events, and hope we all make it to state in the relays.
With photographer Zoe Harrington, this is Jamie Birmingham reporting for Titan Television.
Lastly, Coach Schieber has been a staple here at West for 20 years. Ellie Johnson talked to him about his lasting impact.
Every winter sports season, Lee Summit West is buzzing about one sport in particular, boys basketball. And it's because of their domination on the court. But their 22-7 record finish last winter wasn't without its challenges. In January, it was announced beloved head coach Michael Schieber was out on urgent medical leave.
It was kind of hard just because, he's our leader, like our big leader, and we always want to be with him.
Schieber, a science teacher, announced his retirement early spring.
His health right now is the main thing, so it's too bad that he's having to retire this early, but I understand why he's retiring. I hate to see it, but you gotta take care of yourself.
For Schieber, his retirement signified an end to this chapter of his life.
When I started, I think I had a time in my life where I thought I knew everything, and within a few years I realized how little I knew. That's probably the hardest. It's real easy when you know you're getting into something. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's harder to know when it's time to get out.
I just thought that he was stopping, coaching golf. I didn't know that he was completely retiring. Honest reaction, I'm very sad. He's one of my favorite teachers here. He's so funny.
While Schieber's missing presence as a coach on the sideline caused hardships for the team, it was the absence of his friendship that was the hardest.
We weren't really worried about it on the court. On the court, we were really trying to play for him, but off the court, it was tough. We had a whole meeting about it and talked about it. It was really emotional.
And Schieber's decision to remove himself was heartbreaking.
It's bigger than me. And when I looked at this, and I knew that I couldn't be there in all the ways that I wanted to be, I just didn't want to be a burden or something that kids had to worry about whether I was going to be there from day to day. So that'll be the hardest part. Is letting go.
Though he will miss everything at West, Schieber is feeling hopeful about his future. I'm Ellie Johnson reporting for Titan Television. That's a wrap on this edition of Titan Television. Prom tickets go on sale next week for $30, and make sure to have all your grad requirements completed.
And seniors, it's time to send in your photos to be featured in the Class of 2024 senior video. You should have received a link to the Google Drive folder where you can upload group pictures of you and your friends from 7th to 12th grade. Be sure to do this by May 3rd.
As always, to stay up to date with what's going on around the school, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook at Ellis West Online and on TikTok at Ellis West on TikTok.
Have a great week, Titans.